so today we will talk about constipation, and we will see how to heal constipation in 10 steps. So before we start, you can subscribe to my channel. You can put a thumb up under this video if you would like to help me, and if you would like to get notified when I release a new video. I make at least one video each week. So my main influence for diet is Weston Price and his book Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. So if you don't know Weston Price, I recommend that you order his book and that you read his book. This is basically the diet I recommend, but of course we will change that diet depending on your condition. And so I am about to become a certified naturopath. So, this is my way of seeing health. I recommend only natural remedies. I will never recommend chemical remedies. This is what you will find on my YouTube channel and on my website. On my website, thecandidaslayer.com, I have a course to heal your gut. So if you are interested in buying the course, the link will be under this video in the description box. I also offer private coaching sessions. If you need help, if you need someone to coach you, to heal your gut, this is what I do. So the links will be under this video in the description box. I also have a Facebook group where you can join me, where you can ask me questions if you want. The name of this Facebook group is the Candida Slayer Forum in English, and the link also will be under this video. So what is constipation? Constipation is when you don't go to the bathroom more than twice a week or something like that. Basically, it's just you don't go to the bathroom enough, and it can cause many problems. So you have trouble having bowel movements. Everything gets stuck in your bowels, and it can cause a lot of issues. So it will cause, of course, gut issues if you cannot go to the bathroom. So the bowel movement you have bowel movement for your body to detox things, to eliminate toxic things. So if you cannot eliminate toxic things from your body, then you will have diseases, you will have problems. So that's why constipation is really bad for you. It's because it keeps toxic stuff inside of you. So you will have digestive issues. You will have intestinal issues. You will have bloating. You will have gas when you have constipation. You can develop SIBO and other gut infections. Why? Because your stool gets stuck in there and it doesn't move. So your bacteria can just multiply and you will get overgrowth because of your constipation, because it all stays still in your gut. You can also develop hemorrhoids. You can also develop anal fissures. So it can be very complicated. It can cause many issues to be constipated. And so we will see what causes constipation and how to, heal constipation. So there are many different causes. Here I put the main causes of constipation. So there are several causes for constipation. Here I've put the main ones. So dehydration can cause constipation. Not only dehydration because you don't drink enough water, because actually the problem is not really the water that you ingest, but it's the water that your body can absorb. And your body can absorb water only if it has all of the electrolytes in the water. So more than drinking water, it's drinking water that has the minerals your body needs to absorb it. That is important. Peristaltism is the name we give to the... So your gut has muscles, your intestine has muscles that push push your stool forward, down your intestine and your colon, so you can then eliminate the stools. So when your muscles get paralyzed, this is a big problem, and that's when you can have constipation. So again, this is another cause. So you can have several of these things, or you can have just one of these things that cause your constipation. But this one is very, very common. Stress, of course, is a very important cause. Emotional stress. If you are stressed all day long, when we are in a situation of stress, that's the body. So the body is under alert, and it must face a stress, and therefore other functions like the digestive function will be on pause. That's just because how it works in a natural state. It's like if our ancestors were chased by a lion, let's say our ancestor killed a deer and is chewing on a piece of deer, swallowing, having the meal, and suddenly a lion comes. So our ancestor would freak out and run away, and of course the deer he was eating, so the digestive process will stop, because the priority for the body is to run away from the lion and not die, rather than digesting the food you just ate. So stress is supposed to be something very punctual, very very short term, and the problem in our modern world, in our society, is that we have chronic stress. We are stressed all day long for days and days and days. So, as we said, stress will stop your digestive system from functioning properly, So if you get stressed all the time, you will just stop digesting your food properly, and you will have tons of issues, and constipation is one of the problems you can have, from stress. Dysbiosis, I have talked about dysbiosis in other videos. So dysbiosis is when you don't have the right ratio of microbes in your gut, and of course your microbiome is in charge of many things, but is also in charge of the general health of your intestine, and is in charge of making things move in there also. So you cannot have good bowel movements if you don't have a good microbiome. Hormones is one of the causes, because mainly because of hypothyroid. When you have hypothyroid, you will have constipation. But usually you have hormonal issues because of something else. So hormones are like one of the causes of constipation, but hormone issues have a root cause also. We will talk about it, but it is usually caused by toxicity. And junk food, processed foods, this is very, very bad because it's devoid of nutrients. It's full of chemical poisons, it's full of chemical additives, preservatives, and many, many other additives. These additives act like antibiotics in your body. So we know that antibiotics destroy your gut flora. So the preservatives in food destroy your gut flora. These chemical additives also cause cancer, cause hormonal issues, etc., etc. So eating processed foods is very, very bad. So you should not eat processed foods, or very, very rarely. And being a couch potato is bad for constipation. If you don't move, if you don't move enough, you will get constipation, and you will have many problems, because moving is part of health. You need to move. So here we have seen several causes for constipation, and now that we know the causes, we can find the solution. So number one, you need to eat a good diet, a Weston A. Price type of diet. Okay, so as we said, you stop eating junk food, you stop eating processed food, you cook your food at home, you buy good food, good quality ingredients, and you cook at home. So quality is always the most important. So I will talk about that just after. But so you eliminate processed foods, and also you eliminate grains. Okay, this is a very good start to heal anything. We eat way too many grains in our modern society. Grains are really not the optimal food for humans. I much prefer other sources of carbs than grains. Grains would be my last choice. Okay, it's very easy to get grains. It's very cheap, but it's really not good for your body. So if you eliminate processed foods and grains, this is a good start. And you cook at home and you buy only organic food. Now, eat organ meats at least once a week. Organ meats are super rich in nutrients, in vitamins, in minerals. It's awesome. Especially liver. Liver is a true superfood. You need to eat liver as often as you can. Try to eat liver at least once a week. Liver is awesome. If you have any health issue, eat liver. Vegetables. Of course, vegetables are great because they have many important nutrients. They have very important nutrients that you can find also in animal products, but vegetables also have different nutrients that you cannot find in animal products, like phytochemicals, like chlorophyll is very important for your health, and polyphenols. You don't have that in animal products. So it's important to have a balanced diet with vegetables and animal products. Both are super important. If you have a very sensitive digestive system, I recommend that you avoid eating too much fiber. So if fiber cause issues for you, instead of eating raw vegetables, you can cook them. Cooked fiber are much easier to digest. And if even cooked fibers give you problems, then you can just juice vegetables. Okay, vegetable juices are great. Not only because you don't have the fiber and you have all the vitamins and enzymes intact in the vegetable juice, but also juicing vegetables makes it so much easier to have enough greens in our diet. Because chewing on celery and carrots, it takes time, and in our modern world we want to go fast and stuff, and also it can be time consuming to cook vegetables. I played guilty. I am very lazy to cook vegetables, and I actually don't enjoy eating vegetables, but I know vegetables are great for us. So what I prefer to do is I prefer to juice vegetables. It's a great way to drink tons of vegetables, and it's so easy, and it's good, it's really enjoyable, and it's awesome. It's awesome. And vegetables are very, very important to detox the body. Okay, very important. Seafood, fish, it's very important also. If you read Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, the book of Weston Price, you realize that seafood is so important. He observed that the healthiest people he visited were the people who ate the most seafood. Okay, seafood is really, really, really important. We should eat seafood. Of course, quality is always number one in anything I say. So you will not buy fish that is farmed. Farm fish is really bad. Just buy wild caught fish. Try to get the best quality possible. Eat seafood, fish at least once a week. This is great. It is very important. It is super important. And we are iodine deficient nowadays in our modern society. So we need to eat seafood that is rich in iodine. Okay, we need much more iodine than what we actually get from our regular diet. Fermented foods. Eat fermented foods if you can tolerate fermented foods. Not everybody can, but if you can tolerate fermented foods, it's great because it's so easy to digest, and it's a great source of probiotic. And we were saying right before that dysbiosis is one of the main causes for constipation. So you need to eat fermented foods to get enough probiotics in your gut. Okay, not only it's easy to digest, but it brings all the probiotics. If you have histamine intolerance, of course, you will not be able to eat fermented foods. I have videos about histamine intolerance on my channel, so please go watch these videos if you want to learn more about that. Good fats are super important. In our modern diet, we don't eat enough good fats. And when I say good fats, I mean animal fat, okay? From grass-fed animals, healthy animals, we need more fat in our diet. This is something also that is obvious when you read Weston Price's book. So grass-fed butter, egg yolks, tallow, duck fat, this is great. And you should eat, animal fat every day. And soups, broths are great for our health, rich in minerals, especially if you put, vegetables in your soups. I have different videos. I have several videos about meat stock and bone broth. It's also great to repair your gut, to repair your tissues. So if you can eat broth like several times a week also, that's great. So this is the start of anything. We talk about constipation today, but if you have any health issues, this is the base. This is the first thing you should do. Eat a good diet. This is number one. You cannot be healthy if you don't eat like that. Number two, fiber. Okay, so there are like two types of fiber, soluble and insoluble. So soluble fiber is, the fiber that is like a jelly, like, the chia seeds, the flax seeds. When you put them in water, they have what we call mucilages. It's like a gel. You have pectin, in fruits, especially in apples. So these things are soluble fiber. It's really, really good for constipation, but for anybody that has digestive issues, it really helps, soluble fiber, because so for people who have constipation, it will moisturize your stools, so they will be much easier to pass. It will make the stool slide much better because it's gooey, the consistency. Soluble fiber are really easy on your gut, on your digestive system. It won't hurt your digestive system, and it just makes your stool pass much easier. Insoluble fiber, on the other hand, are more dangerous, especially for people who have a very sensitive digestive system, because insoluble fiber are, as their name, says, it's insoluble. It's tough. It's a tough type of fiber, and it can really scratch your digestive system all along. So the insoluble fiber, they only get digested in your colon, not before. So they will pass the stomach and the small intestine intact, and so they can scratch all along. And even when they arrive in the colon, so that's when the bacteria in your colon will start feeding off these fiber, but not completely. Your bacteria will not completely eat these fibers, no. So it will continue going through your colon, and also scratching your colon all along until you have a bowel movement. So generally, insoluble fiber that's not a very good idea for people who have digestive issues and very irritated colon or gut in general. And so when we talk about constipation, the first advice is always, you need to eat more fiber, but that's not always correct, as you can see on the picture on the right here. So this is a study that was made in Australia it was made with a group of people who all have constipation. Okay, and they tried 4 different diets for these people who had constipation, to see what diet would relieve their symptoms. And it's very interesting because, as you can see, the constipated people who were on a regular diet, they had horrible constipation, strain opening, bad bloating, anal bleeding and pain. This was on. So this is what you can see on the left side of the picture. Then the people who had a diet, richer in fiber, so they were eating more fiber, they had much worse symptoms. Their constipation was much worse with a high fiber diet. The people who had a diet with less fiber, they got better. Less symptoms, less constipation. And the people who had zero fiber in their diet, they had no more symptoms, no more constipation, no more bloating, no more bleeding, no more pain. Okay, so this is interesting. You will have to try for yourself because we are all different in some ways. And for some people who have constipation, yes, eating more fiber will help them. But for other people, you will try for yourself. Try to eat more fiber for a few days, see how you feel. And then for a few days, you eat zero fiber, see how you feel. And then you can decide what is best for you. Okay? Because if your problem is peristaltism, as we said, so that's when your intestinal muscles don't move, your bowels are paralyzed. So when that's what happens for you, you can eat as much fiber as you want, as much insoluble fiber as you want. It won't push anything. It will just block your intestine even more. Okay, so be careful with fiber. So it's worth trying more fiber and then zero fiber, and then to see, if you see a change in your symptoms. Bile. So bile is, everybody knows that bile is how you digest fats. You need bile to digest your fats. But for constipation, bile is very important because bile is a natural lubricant for your gut. Okay? So if you have a lack of bile, this can be one of the causes of your constipation. So what should you do? You can supplement with ox bile. You can drink bitter teas before your meals because the bitterness, the bitter taste, stimulates your digestive organs. It stimulates your stomach to make more bile, and it stimulates your gallbladder to release more bile. Okay, so drinking a bitter tea before each meal, this is great, and I have seen many people having great results with by doing that. So you can the easiest bitter tea to find everywhere in the world, and the cheapest is usually dandelion. So I recommend a mix of dandelion roots and leaves, and then you make a tea with that. It should taste bitter. Okay, it won't work if it does not taste bitter. So you should not add honey or sugar. No, because you need to taste the bitterness. Okay, and you can also eat more fats, because if you eat more fat, then your liver will have to make more bile. Okay, so but you need to do that little by little, because if all of a sudden you start to eat much more fat than what you usually do, then your body won't have enough bile, and it can actually worsen your constipation. So you just need to eat more fat, but very slowly. You ramp it up. Okay. You can take like jelly substances. So we talked about insoluble fiber before. So actually those gels, that's what they are, and they are also insoluble fiber. Aloe vera gel, I have 2 videos on my channel about aloe vera gel, so I suggest that you go watch these videos if you want to learn more about aloe vera gel. I do not recommend bottled aloe vera gels because they always have nasty additives. I recommend that you buy a leaf of aloe vera and you extract the gel yourself. I have a video that shows how to do that. So aloe vera gel is great. This is my favorite because it heals your gut, it heals your tissues, It's a natural antifungal, antibacterial, so it helps, with your dysbiosis. And for constipation, it will, as we said, for soluble fiber, it will, coat your intestine with this jelly substance, so it will make your stool much easier to pass. It will moisture your stools. So that's what the other ones on this picture do also. The slippery elm gel or marshmallow root gel is the same. They will moisturize your stool. They will make your stool easier to pass, so it's really good. Psyllium husk also, but be careful with psyllium husk. I've seen both. I've seen people getting great results with psyllium husk, and I've seen people having a worsening of their symptoms with psyllium husk. You need to be careful when you take psyllium husk, because it can actually create a blockage in your intestine if you don't drink enough water. You need to drink tons of water when you take psyllium husk. So again, you will have to try for yourself, but my favorite is aloe vera gel. Number 5, electrolytes, because we said dehydration is one cause of constipation. So you need to drink enough liquid, yes, but most importantly, you need to get your electrolytes, your minerals, in the water you drink. So you can try seawater, Quinton seawater. I will certainly make a video about that. It's very good, for people who have mineral deficiency, because in seawater you have all the minerals that your body needs. So here also I've seen both. I've seen people who had great results with seawater. I've seen people who had a worsening of their symptoms. So the best is just to try for yourself. Everything that I recommend, on my website or in my videos are super safe. And if there are side effects, I talk about it. But everything I recommend is very, very safe. So that's why, even if some people have bad results with some of these products, you can always try for yourself, see how you feel. And then if you have a worsening of your symptoms, you just stop, and that's okay. Most people are deficient in magnesium, so if you don't want to take, for example, the seawater, you can just supplement with magnesium. And I always prefer the natural version of anything, so of magnesium. So I prefer to recommend Nigari salt for magnesium. I will make a video that explains how to take it. You can also drink vegetable juices. We talked about it. It's super rich in vitamins, enzymes, and also in minerals. So you will have the electrolytes that your body needs in vegetable juices. I love vegetable juices. And also in soups, as we already said, meat stock, etc. Probiotics, as we said, dysbiosis is one of the main causes of constipation. So you need probiotics. I usually recommend people to start with probiotic pills, because usually people who have digestive issues, they cannot tolerate fermented foods right away. If you can, that's awesome, and just do that. You don't need probiotic pills. If you cannot tolerate fermented foods like kefir, yogurt, sauerkraut, or stuff like that, in this case, you can start with probiotic pills, and then later you can eat fermented foods. Okay, and that will bring all the good bacteria your body needs. Number 7, you need to move. This is very important. This is super important for constipation, but for your health in general. You cannot be healthy if you don't move. You need to move every day. You need to run, to jump, or at least to walk every day. I know people who have digestive issues, who are very sick. They don't want to move. They just want to stay in bed and just lay there. But that's a vicious circle. You feel bad, so you stay at home and you don't move. But because you don't move, you will feel worse and worse. So you need to move. It's super important. Not only to make everything move in your gut, so that's important for your constipation, but also for your lymph. Your lymph system is how your body detox. Okay? And your lymph doesn't have a heart that pumps it, Your lymph moves only because of your muscles, only because of your movements. So if you do not move, your lymph does not move. Therefore, your body cannot detox. So moving is super important. And for constipation especially, what I recommend is to do jumping jacks. You do like in the morning, you get up and you do 50 jumping jacks. Okay? And you will see very often people need to go to the bathroom right after, because it really makes everything moves, and this is really good. So you can do jumping jacks, or also you can buy a little trampoline. I'm not sure if you say that in English. I think you do, yeah, a little trampoline, and you just, jump on it every day, and that's awesome. Number 8, you can massage your belly. So this will help to make your stool move into your colon and to evacuate the stools out of your colon. You just do the massage as shown in this picture. You start on the left side, you go up, you go towards the left, you go down, and this follows the way your colon is. It will push your stool towards the exit. So this is really good. Don't do that right after eating. You need to do that on an empty stomach. Okay, so I would do that more like in the morning when you wake up, or at night when you are in your bed, or away from meals. So, but this can really help. Number 9, enemas, saltwater flush, colonics. These things can really help people who have constipation. But I personally don't like to recommend these often. I like these, but like once or twice. But I've seen people doing enemas like every day, and no, I don't agree. I don't think it's a good idea every day. No, and even once a week, I think it's still too much, because every time you do that, you flush out the good bacteria from your gut, and you will never recover if you keep flushing out your probiotics in your gut. So I like enemas, saltwater flush, and colonics, but only maybe once a month. But I really don't like to recommend doing them often. Number 10, you need to relax, as we said. Stress is a very, very important cause for constipation. So you need to relax, with meditation and stuff like that, breathing exercises. But also you need to. So this is something I could experience myself. The days where I just have to work from home, and I just wake up when I wake up. I don't put an alarm to wake up in the morning. When I have days like that, in the morning, like 1 hour after waking up, I go to the bathroom. I have a bowel movement. This is just how my body works. But then when I have days where I need to put an alarm and I need to go somewhere early in the morning, my body will be in stress mode. And because my body will be in stress mode, like, oh, I have to go there to leave at this time, this is the life of most people. You wake up, or you have to be in the bus, or you have to leave at 7 o'clock, and you have to there's a timing, and you are all blah blah blah, and because it's every morning, it becomes something normal, and you don't realize that it's a stress for your body, but it is a stress for your body. And again, I can really see it when I have to wake up at a certain time and to leave the house at a certain time. I do not have a bowel movement until the end of the day. So imagine if I have days like that every day of the week, my bowel movements will be completely stopped. And sometimes it happens, like for 2 or 3 days, I don't go to the bathroom just because of that, just because I have to rush in the morning. Okay, so I think most people don't realize that. So I think what you should do when you wake up, you need to have like half an hour where you don't have to run. Like, let's say you have to wake up at 7. Give 30 minutes to your body, to wake up. From 7 to 7:30, you just breathe. You try to I don't know, you can do some yoga, but you need to, give it some time before starting running and, doing all the stuff you need to do, okay? I think this is very important. All right, and if you need help, this is what I do, this is what I offer on my website, thecandidaslayer.com. I offer a course, so you can buy a course on how to heal your gut. The link will be under this video, so just click on the link. I also offer private coaching if you need help. So again, that's on my website. And yeah, I've put this picture here to represent that, yes, you can heal. I see too many people, who think that they have their digestive disease for life, I've seen many people saying, oh, it has been 20 years that I have this and that, and that's just my life. No, it should not be your life, because you can heal your digestive issues. You can heal, okay? So this is what I teach on my channel and in my website. And I see you in, either you can join me on my Facebook group, so the link will be under this video. Either I see you in my next video. Bye bye.